everything that we do is going to be Eastern Standard Time, so for future reference. So let me just. I'm just going to wait for a couple people to jump on before I start getting into like the announcement that we have. Hey Christina, how's it going? Glad that you could join us today. Like I said in the last live stream, that I plan on trying to do this every Sunday, where we try to just sit down and talk about like the previous videos or upcoming videos, and or if we have any special announcements like this one is planned to do. So I do have some of my laptop up so that way I could read some of the comments. Sometimes I can't see very good on the phone, but that's what I'm streaming from. Yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed the videos that we've been putting out. We just put out the one from Greenville Manor, the recap video, because we went there 2 years ago now. It's hard to keep track because we've been doing it since 2019. So after a while, it's hard to remember like what year we went to certain places, because it all kind of, especially the past couple of years in 2020 and 2021, everything kind of just like meshes together. So. Let's turn on these comments here. All right, yeah, so like I said in the last video, we kind of did a quick recap on where we were going upcoming. Hey Tara, how's it going? Glad you could join us. I'm glad that you're here actually, because we talked a little bit on Messenger about like future investigations, and that's what this video is going to go into more detail about too. So I kind of touched on it on the last live stream about how we were looking at investigations, or locations rather, to do like more investigations. So I'm just hoping a couple more people will jump on, and then we will get into like the announcement that I have for like further news on that development. So because like I said in the last last live stream, we get a lot of questions about, are we going to hold investigations, or are we going to like have people join us on any future investigations? And we've been working really hard to try to bring that to you guys, and to pick a location that's right, and pick a location where we feel like it's going to be the best experience for everybody. So that's something that we've been working on, trying to make happen. So that's what pretty much this announcement today is going to be. Plus, just like I said, I get into a rhythm of going live every Sunday for a half hour or however long the stream goes, just to try to make it a routine, something that I feel like is pretty cool to do, just to talk about anything channel related or even paranormal related. If you guys are experiencing anything on your end, or if you guys have any cool investigations that you want to talk about. A lot of people that watch the channel also do their own investigations, so that's something that I really like to touch on. Let me just make sure I can see the messages here. Yeah, so Tara, I believe you said you were from like the Auburn area, so that's cool because obviously we're based out of Watertown, New York, so I would say like 80% of the locations that we go to are in New York, although we try to branch out to Pennsylvania or any other surrounding state where we can easily go investigate. Like I said before in the previous video, logistics are the hardest part, making sure everybody in our team can get the time off, or a lot of times if it's another state away, it's like a 6-hour drive, 8-hour drive. So that's why we try to stick to New York. Wayside Irish Pub. No, I haven't yet. I've actually never even heard of it. So a lot of the locations that we go to are featured on the Haunted History Trail of New York. So that's pretty much our like itinerary. That's where we get most of the locations from, and say, hey, we want to try to hit every single one of these locations. So something like that, I'm not sure if that's on there. I don't remember seeing it on there. But yeah, that's a good recommendation. So if you guys know of any locations that do allow investigators to come or might be interested in allowing investigators, that's awesome. Yeah, so a lot of pubs and restaurants do have that history, just because there's so much energy in those locations, and a lot of times those layers actually are what are like the genesis of the haunting. So let me actually write that down, so that way I can look into that because that's pretty cool. Because you said it's pretty close to your area, and you said you were from Auburn, so Elbridge, New York, yeah. So yeah, because I have a book of like I have like locations that I write down that I potentially want to do, and just contacts, pretty much like a short list. Because what I did in the beginning of the year really is I generate the list of all the locations that we want to do, and then I contact all like the managers or owners of the locations and see which ones I can do bookings for and deposits for. So, and that's another thing that I wanted to announce too today. I did get in touch with the manager of the Crescent Sanitarium, which is in Pennsylvania. So we're trying to make that happen for a location at some point during the summertime. Hopefully in like July or August or something like that. And that used to be like another TB sanitarium, and it used to be I think the last functional thing it was. So we've been wanting to do a prison for a long time. Um, at a lot of prisons. Obviously, we're looking at like Ohio State Reformatory, Mid Orange, Moundsville Prison in West Virginia. So our group hasn't really done a full fledged prison yet. So that's another area that we really have a lot of interest in. So let me actually just jot that down so I can kind of look it up. So it's actually because I do have a lot of people tell me they're like, "Hey, have you done this location or have you heard about this?" And some of the owners might not have even been um, contacted by the New York Haunted History Trail. So the way that that website works is it's just pretty much people will just message them or contact them somehow, email or whatever, and say, hey, this location has a history of being haunted. So there's not a ton of criteria for them to be listed on that website. I think it has to be more like a general consensus from like multiple people. I don't think you can just go and one person say, "Hey, this place is haunted," put it on there. I think there has to be a little bit of like a documented history or something to that effect. But yeah, so that's definitely something that we will look into. Sorry, my memory is horrible, so I got to keep looking at the title. So I write everything down. So Wayside Irish Pub in Elbridge, awesome. And so I hope you guys were able to check out that Greystone video that I just recently uploaded, because that's a little taste of what we got last time we were there, like I said, in 2020. And that place was just nuts. We had disembodied voices, we had REM pod activity, EVPs, direct spirit box responses, a little bit of everything. So that was really exciting to go there. And they actually if you follow the Greystone Manor on Facebook and like their other social media, I believe they're on Instagram too as well. They just recently found like a hidden compartment or something to that effect, like underneath their stairs. So they're currently trying to investigate that and see what that compartment is. And they also recently found out through, I think, public records that the house is a lot older than they thought. Maybe not a lot older because it was already in the mid 1800s, but now they're dating the house back to the pre-Civil War, which is always a pretty big deal. Um, so yeah, we can't wait to go back there um, and see what else we can find out. Because if any of you guys watch that video of Greystone, the EVP that Brad and I caught in the basement after the girls like Jess and Alyssa and Christy had a lot of activity through their millimeters and K2s and REM pod. We got the name Daniel, and unknown at the time, like we knew some of the history of like Curtis Root, who died in the house and stuff like that. But when I was sending that video to Heather, the owner, she actually reminded us that a guy named Daniel actually died in the house too, as one of the daughter's fathers or something to that effect. I'll get you guys the whole information and I'll put it in like the description of the video. Because I forgot to do that during the video because I just wanted a quick 6-minute recap. But that was pretty cool that we actually got a name of a man who died in the house. A clear Class A EVP in the basement. And the basement is said to be one of the most haunted areas of Greystone. And if you guys check on their Facebook page, they actually just captured a photograph during like a public investigation of like a face figure looking out the basement window, which is really creepy. So make sure you guys check out Greenville Manor on Facebook. If you guys don't follow them, they're constantly doing events and investigations. So we're glad to go back. So, like I've touched on before, we wanted to bring investigation to you guys. We kicked around a couple of different ideas on what we could do. So a couple of things that came to mind is either we would hold some sort of contest where you guys could enter in like a drawing or something to that effect, where you guys could join us on an investigation, like where our normal crew size, like 6 of us or however many go, plus like 2 winners or something like that. So that's something that we eventually want to do. I've also began thinking, that's only like 2 people, so we don't know how many investigations we'll be able to do, like a contest for. So another idea that I had, which I'm leaning more towards now, where Chase Manor, which is relatively close to us, is an hour and a half. So anybody who's local that watches the channel, or if you're able to drive the hour and a half, it doesn't matter what distance you are. What we want to do is kind of open up like a public investigation, where members of our group will host it. So maybe not our whole team, but several of us, 2 or 3 of us or whatever, maybe 4, I don't know. It just depends on how many is available, where we would pretty much lead an investigation, but we would have you guys be able to sign up to go to the investigation. Yeah, Tara. So only you and one other person. I mean, so what we're trying to do is open up an investigation without running like a contest, pretty much at this point. So that way we could get more people involved. So instead of us, say like us paying 2 people's way to an investigation and doing, we're in Watertown. So Ruth, we're in Watertown, New York. That's where our group is based out of. But what we're trying to do is open up like a public investigation at a location that's not in Watertown. So what I've decided is like we're going to open up a public investigation that's fairly local. I mean, a lot of times we'll drive 3 or 4 hours to a location. Sometimes it's up to like 6 hours. So what we've ultimately decided to, and I have to hammer out the date, but we're going to do pretty much a public investigation at Chase Manor where people can. Oh, Ruth, you're in Pennsylvania. That's awesome because we're actually do quite a bit in Pennsylvania too, just because it's a local state. I'll touch on that in a little bit. So what we've decided to do is do a public investigation at Chase Manor because it's an hour and a half from where we're based. So I think a lot of the local people who follow or what have you would be able to get there relatively easy or easier than say if we did like a further location. But instead of running a contest where you win a spot and we pay for it and all that, we're just going to open it up to the public where you just pay the fee to do the investigation, which is $50, and then you're in. So you don't have to win. You don't have to worry about being in a drawing. You don't have to worry about a raffle or anything like that. So we decided to do Chase Manor, and it's going to be in April. So we're leaning towards the first Saturday in April. I just have to confirm the date. But that's pretty much the first public investigation that we're going to open up. So we're excited to announce that, where pretty much you say, hey guys, I want to go. You send us a message to reserve your spot. It'd be $50. Yeah, Tara, that's awesome. So that's why we were kind of leaning back and forth between how we wanted to do this. We do want to do an investigation where we pay for someone's way in as like a contest. But like I said, if we do that, we could probably only do that for like 1 or 2 people. Whereas we know we've gotten multiple request of people saying, hey, I'll pay my own way to do an investigation. Just let me know when we can do one or where we can go. So that's the direction that we're leaning to for the first event that we're going to do. And like I said, it's going to be at Chase Manor, where I personally have been twice, and our group has went once. And we got quite a bit of activity there through like REM pod, spirit boxes, EVPs, and whatnot. So, like I said, the first week in April, Chase Manor is tentatively where we want to go. So it would be $50 per person. You would just let us know that you're interested, and then we would put you down on a list, and then you would join us, however many members of our group decide to go, and we would lead an investigation. The place is very big, so we could easily bring 10 to 12 people, maybe even 15 there for an investigation. Because if we do host an investigation like that, we want to make sure that you guys do enjoy like the full investigative experience, and not have like contamination or something ruin the investigative process. Like some of these public events will have 50 people or 100 people running around, and I don't think that does it much justice as far as like being able to authenticate any evidence you might find. So that's pretty much, I mean, the announcement that I had for you guys today is that we are opening up a public investigation for tentatively the first week in April. It will be in Auburn, New York, at Chase Manor. I did reach out to the owner. We've spoken a couple times. I just have to make sure that the date is 100% solid. I believe it is. I just wanted to make sure. Um, in April. So that way the weather's going to cooperate a little bit better. I don't know if you guys saw the last live stream. When we went to Chase Manor, it was literally like 0 or -10 out, like between the time we got there and the time we left. Um, but Chase Manor is pretty big. Yeah, Tara. So that's, I mean, when you reached out to me, um, we didn't have it 100% in the works yet, but that's why I kind of was going back and forth. Do we want to do like a contest, or, I've had a couple other people reach out to me and said, hey, me and my friend want to go. We'll pay our way. So I figured, hey, if people want to experience it, then we would love to host an investigation. Lorna is a great host at Chase Manor. Sorry, I'm getting messages on my phone, so my phone's kind of vibrating. Um, she's a great host there. She does allow people to spend the night if that's something that, say you're driving, like say you live, like for instance, Ruth lives in Pennsylvania and you did want to come and join the investigation. As long as you're willing to make it there and drive there, it doesn't matter how far you are. I mean, if you want to reserve a spot, you just let us know, and we can certainly accommodate that. So like I said, it's $50. All the money goes back into the renovations of the property. So a lot of these properties, they're not doing it for a big profit. I mean, a lot of these places have a lot of upkeep, are older homes, and there is a lot of maintenance that goes along with them. So that's the money goes straight to that. It goes to like restoration projects. It goes to roofing. It goes to plumbing. I don't know if any of you guys follow the Hinsdale house, but they actually just had an incident where a team was in there and they turned off like the heater or something before they left for the night. So then all their basement got flooded and it's just a big mess. So I don't think a lot of people realize how much money it costs for these locations to open themselves up to investigators and the upkeep that it entails sometimes. So um, it's some of these owners can charge a lot more, but a lot of them don't, just because they want to be open and be fairly priced. And what Lorna charges is very fair. So if you guys haven't had a chance to check out either our live stream from Chase Manor or check out the videos from Chase Manor, make sure you jump onto our YouTube channel, watch them. Like I said, we've gotten so many EVPs in one room where I couldn't believe it when I was reviewing it. We also got live spirit box responses, and I actually haven't produced or uploaded the second video from Chase Manor yet, which has a ton of spirit box responses. It has direct answers to some questions, which I'm very excited for you guys to see in the next video. One of the rumors, so actually, So I will go into some of the history of the Chase Manor now, since that's like the reveal of the location that we're going to open up for you guys. So Chase Manor dates back to the colonial, pre-Revolutionary War times. A Civil War soldier actually had a house on the property, and in the barn area, you can actually see the foundation of his house. So there's a rumor or speculation that there's like a dark shadow figure or a dark entity in the barn. Um, so a man was, I don't know if he was a full blown skeptic or if he was just kind of provoking, but he was in the barn and he said, like, I don't believe you. If you're here, can you grab me? Can you push me or something to that effect? And he was actually held down on a beam, and he wasn't able to get up until he said, let me go, like multiple times, and it, freaked him right out. So that was one of the claims from the barn. And one of the claims from inside the house is that there's a woman who would come out of a room and try to push someone downstairs or something. And she's like not necessarily like a nice spirit there. And someone, I don't know if it was Lorna herself or if there's another person with like psychic abilities that said they got like the vision or like the sensation that she was hung in the closet in one of the rooms. They don't know if it was like foul play or if they don't know if it was suicide. Um, but one of the direct responses that we got in the spirit box kind of confirms or validates that claim, which is really cool. So I don't want to spoil it for you guys, but it will be in the next video. And the house itself was actually used as like a morgue slash like funeral home too from one of the owners. I believe it was George Chase, and we believe we've captured him on EVP because he was, I believe, is George Chase. There's three different Georges that owned the house at one point, so um, I don't I don't know if I got the last name confused. I will, I'll throw it in the comments of this video if I did end up screwing it up. But I believe it was George Chase, and he was like a whaler. So his voice was very gruff because he was on the sea a lot. So like the sea salt from that was like in the air and stuff like that made his voice very gruff. So a lot of EVPs, you hear a very gruff male voice, and that's believed to be George Chase. So um, yeah, so Chase Manor is just pretty cool. It's close to us. Like I said, if you are traveling quite a ways, I mean, we're only an hour and a half, so a couple times, a couple times, like I had to be back to Watertown the next day for whatever specific reason, and so I just drove home that night. But she does open it up. There is like plenty of space in like where we keep our base camp, where we have all of our equipment. There's a few couches in there. She said we're more than welcome to bring cots or air mattresses or whatever we have, so we can camp out there if we want to. The whole place is heated. There is a running bathroom, restroom there. And there is like pizza places right down the street where we normally will order pizza or something like that. So, it's a fun experience. We haven't yet to spend the night there just because the two times we went there, we went home the next day just because it was so close. But it would be considered an overnight investigation. Um, and honestly, we haven't been there past midnight, 1 a.m. So God knows what happens. I mean, a lot of people say that's when the bewitching hour is. So just as much activity happens during the day as it does during the night sometimes. Um, but you never know. Sometimes, if it's a residual haunting and spirits were around at that point in time of the night, and maybe that's when you'd get more activity. That's why we go to Chase Manor to try to investigate it and answer some of these questions because some of these other locations, there's been a lot of people investigating for years, and throughout the years, they've gotten little bits and pieces and breadcrumbs of like EVPs or responses of what happened there. And Chase Manor is still a relatively new location of us trying to undig and unearth like the history behind it. So I will post to our Facebook channel rather some of the videos now that we made the announcement that that's where we're going to go to do our like first public investigation. So you guys can get a chance to watch those. So if anybody has any questions on anything regarding like the public investigation, feel free to reach out to any of the team through the Facebook page, or if you have Instagram or even just on Facebook Messenger, reach out to me, Derek, and I'll be happy to answer any questions for you guys. So that's pretty much the announcement that we had. And we are looking at another prison TB sanitarium coming up. We're hoping to do that in July. Um, and to touch back on what Ruth said, let me just check these messages real quick. Yeah, so Ruth said she's in Pennsylvania. And yeah, so we've been to Penhurst in Pennsylvania. We've been to Hillview Manor in Pennsylvania. We're looking at Crescent Sanitarium in Pennsylvania. And there's a relatively new location that I've came across called the Greenville Manor. I'm not sure, Ruth, if you've heard of that. Um, it actually popped up, I think, on my Facebook underneath like a sponsored ad because obviously I'm searching all these haunted locations and stuff. So I see those sponsored ads for locations and stuff. But that looks like a pretty cool location that recently has been like renovated, maybe recently purchased. I'm not 100% sure on the history of it. I do have a couple people I know from Greystone Manor that have been to Greenville Manor. Um, or from, I'm sorry, I'm not sure if I said it's Greystone Manor. I meant a couple people from Hillview Manor. I'm not sure if I misspoke. That have been there, and they said it was pretty awesome. So we're looking to try to get back into Pennsylvania at some point this year, just because Pennsylvania has a ton of asylums and hospitals and just haunted um, locations as well as New York. So um, yeah, we'd love to go back because when we went and we did Penhurst, and then we traveled a little bit north and did White Hill Mansion. Whenever we go to Pennsylvania, we try to maybe do like a double header, take the weekend off and hit a couple locations while we're driving out that far. So, like I said, guys, reach out to me if you are interested in doing the public investigation at Chase Manor. The cost would be $50. And other than that, we would pretty much provide like the dinner for you guys there. And then we will have all the equipment to do a full blown investigation. Time frames are normally around like 4 or 5 p.m. You can arrive. She's very flexible as long as we let her know when we plan on doing it. She's okay with it. And then like I said, it can be um, an overnight investigation, and it would be during throughout the night, and then probably leave at 9, 10 in the morning or something like that. Question popped up here. Just pop it. The $50 would be due. That's something that we would have to look into. Lorna's pretty good about just having us pay when we get there, because like I said, we've been there twice. So she knows that both times we've came through on our agreement, and then we showed up with the people that we said we're going to show up. So that's another thing too, is like just the word of mouth and just your reputation in the paranormal field. If I say, hey Lorna, I have X amount of people coming, and this is the amount that we're gonna have, normally she's okay with that. Um, if anybody wants to pay up front, that's great too. What I do is like whenever my team members pay for an investigation, I have a separate like savings account I throw it into, and then come the day in the investigation, I'm kind of like the treasurer of the group as well. I do like the deposits and bookings and stuff like that. Um, so whatever you guys are comfortable with, if you're comfortable with paying upfront, or even doing like a $25 deposit and then $25 at the door, that's something we could work out too as well. My biggest not fear, but my biggest thing is just making sure if you say you're going to come, that you show up, just so that way we're not expecting like 6, 7 people and then like 2 or 3 show up. Where I want to be fair to the owner too. If I'm telling her, hey, we have this many people at this price, for donation purposes. So, and that's something that I will talk to Lorna about and just make sure that she's okay with. And then next Sunday, when I pop on live again, I'll have an update for you guys. So, because like I said, I want to pop on here every Sunday for at least half hour or so, just to keep you guys updated on upcoming events, talk about videos. If anybody wants to talk about any evidence they've seen, anything that they've experienced themselves in their own investigations or in their own personal house or whatever. just an open forum. Like I know a lot of times, just starting out, people may not know that we're going live every Sunday. So I want to kind of make it a routine so that way people will be like, oh, it's Sunday, POW's going to be on at 5. So that way it's not just me droning on. You know what I mean? My voice probably gets annoying after a while. So um, I want to start having some guest speakers on where, maybe like a split screen where we talk to other investigators, talk to owners of some of these places, kind of evolve the live stream a little bit, kind of into like maybe like a semi podcast type thing, um, where we could do that. So, yeah, I will keep in touch with you guys. I will go live again next Sunday, same time, 5 p.m., with definite details of the live investigation. So yeah, it's going to be. Oh, Jarek's on. Hey, Jarek. Yeah. So, are you talking about part of the group as far as like going on the investigation live, or you just talking about being part of the POW group? That's my son. He's probably just being smart. So, Jarek went to Chase Manor a couple times with us. The first time it was just Jarek and I, because it was pretty bad weather out, and then we went the second time and it was freezing out. So, that's why we try to make it a little bit further into spring. Yeah, Jarek's just being smart. So yeah, so if you guys watch any of the live streams, Jarek was on there with us. Um, so he can tell you Chase Manor is pretty big. And that's the if you watched, I believe the first live stream from Chase Manor, I want to say it was like a 50-minute, 56-minute live stream. I think at 16 or 17 minutes, if you guys watch that, that's when the door slams shut. So that's pretty cool to see live. If you guys want to pull up that video, watch that. That would be awesome. So thanks everybody for tuning in. I hope to see you guys all next Sunday. Hope you guys reach out to me via either Messenger or through the Facebook group or Instagram, whatever's easier for you guys. If you guys want to, if you guys do have interest in joining us on a public investigation. So Chase Manor, April. I want to say it's going to be April 2nd. Don't hold me to that, but it will be in April. So make sure you guys check that out. Sorry, I'm just trying to read. So, yeah, make sure you guys check that out and contact me if you guys want to join. $50 and it will be a full overnight investigation. So, hope to see you guys soon and hope to meet you guys again on this live stream at Sunday.